All right, now these are live visuals which are coming in from Bhutan, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is virtually towards the last leg of his tour in Bhutan. And we are given to understand that he is ready at this point of time to leave the country. He'll be departing from Bhutan. And this is what the scene looks like in preparation of India's Prime Minister, in fact, departing from our Himalayan neighbor. This was a two-day visit which the Prime Minister had in fact embarked upon for closer ties between the two nations, and several issues have of course been thrashed out. A total of 9 memorandums of understanding have been signed between the two countries, and now India and Bhutan are of course strengthening their relationship as they step forward. This of course, remember, was Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first trip to Bhutan in his second tenure as the Prime Minister, and the visit of course assumes significance because remember, Bhutan was also one of those parties during the Doklam conflict where India and China had virtually come into what was described as an eyeball-to-eyeball confrontation. The crisis took place at the tri-junction of India, Bhutan and China, and India in many ways is now strengthening its bilateral relationship with Bhutan. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi, over the course of the last 2 days, has been having talks with the government and the leaders of Bhutan. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has now finished his trip to Bhutan. It was a two-day trip and is now, of course, departing from the Himalayan nation. So this of course is a projection of India's strong ties with the neighborhood. This is also in keeping with Prime Minister Modi's neighborhood first policy. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when he addressed the students earlier this morning at the Royal University of Bhutan, he had stated that there is no better time to be young than now. This was one of the important messages that he of course gave to the young minds of Bhutan. He also stated that the brightest of minds of Bhutan should in fact work hard to take the Himalayan nation to greater heights. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi also earlier today had met with the King of Bhutan. At this point of time, he is meeting with some of the dignitaries who are present as Prime Minister Narendra Modi gets ready to depart from Bhutan. And this was a very significant visit as the two countries have cemented their ties further. Bhutan and India have traditionally shared very close ties, and this is what has now been taken forward by the Prime Minister in his first visit to Bhutan during his second tenure as the Prime Minister. So a significant visit, a short one though. It was for 2 days, but at the same time it has reiterated the importance that India places on its relationship with Bhutan. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi shaking hands with many of the officials and dignitaries who are present at the airstrip as he gets ready to depart from Bhutan after having completed what many would describe in diplomatic terms as a very successful trip to the Himalayan nation. And this of course was an important one, considering the manner, the dynamic in which China, which is our other neighbor, has also been trying to project its power, and it was important for India to of course reach out to its neighbors, and this has of course been a policy of the Indian Prime Minister of keeping the neighborhood, putting neighborhood first as India of course looks forth to expand its footprint in the arena of diplomacy. All right, so with this, the two-day visit of India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's trip to Bhutan has now come to an end.